Alright.
Happy belated 4th of July to all of you. I hope you all had a good time. We had a little bit of rain and stuff for ours, which made it a little cooler than it would have been. And it seemed to work out pretty good because in the evening it was wonderful. It wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold. It was just nice.
Just come in. Just come on.
You know, and it kept a lot of people from doing foolish things that they would have done if it probably had been so hot you wouldn't know whether you were going backwards or forwards. But altogether, it turned out nice. And it seems as though those that did go out did have a nice time and they got home safely. And it's good to talk to you again. I missed talking to you last week. Hope you all push them buttons and don't forget to let them know that you've been watching the show. And like I said, whatever you hear on here is my opinion. It's not somebody else's opinion, but only what I seem to think. If you choose to follow it or take any advice from it or anything, I'm hoping that it might be able to help you out. Now, let's see where we're going to go today.
Alright, it says, I'm the oldest of 3 girls. My mom is a single parent, and I know it was hard on her to raise us with no help. But some of the things she has said and says to my sisters and I bother me terribly. I wish I never had you all. I hate being around you. I know why parents kill their kids. It's just a few, and it hurts. She has never been that mom you can talk to. She has never been that mom you can lay up and cuddle with. Even when I started my cycle, she yelled at me and don't bother to tell me what happens next. I had to ask my friend's mom. Even if we were to ask for a hug, she huffs and puffs like it's a task to hug her children. She treats us all the same. Even a 9-year-old who hasn't seen her father since she was 2 asks, what did I do to him? Why does she treat me like that? And why isn't he around? And it breaks my heart to see her confused and hurt. She often asks to come to my house. And when she does, she asks my boyfriend if he would be her dad. He says, yep, baby, I will be your dad. Because she sees how he interacts with his sons. And that's a tearjerker. What do I say to a mother that is hard to approach on how to love her kids and not think money pacifies us when she flips out and says those hurtful things for one spoon being in the sink or because the sun is shining too bright? Help us, please. Thank you. Sometimes we feel like motherless children.
Well, right now you really are motherless children because she's never had that. What you're craving for, she never had. So she can't really relate to you and relate to what she understands what it is that you want. She can't really give it to you because she doesn't know how it feels. How to be hugged and kissed on and cuddled. When I had my children, I did a whole lot of hugging and kissing and cuddling them because by the time I did have my children, I started having my children when I was around about 20, 21. I was used to babysitting. And I babysitted for my aunts and different people who wanted a babysitter. And by that time, I was hugging and kissing and loving on this one's baby and that one's baby and trying to show them the right way and the wrong way and changing diapers and everything. So by the time I had mine, I knew what to do for a baby. You know, when a baby wasn't feeling well, how to take a baby's temperature, and a whole lot of things that young people nowadays go through by themselves because they don't have anybody to teach them or to show them the way. We are so fast in this technology world that we don't do the things that we should do anymore. And some things you should never change, and that's teaching your daughter or your son how to hug and love and play with their kids. You should never stop learning how to play. Play little games. Laugh and talk with them. Enjoy music with them. Listening to their conversation, not your conversation, but their conversation, and listening to what they're saying. This is how you learn what they're saying, what they're doing behind your back when you're not there. When you start to listen to them, because they go through different stages and changing. So she never had, your mother never had, obviously she never had any of this. And a lot of times you say things, cruel, hard things. I can relate to her because I've been through that. And it's not necessary to say those things, but they say it anyhow. You know, I don't think if anything happened to either to you, your sister, or whoever, I think she would be the most sorrowful person in the whole wide world, because she really loves you. She just don't know how to give it back. And some people are good at giving it back. You throw the ball to me and I'll throw it back to you. You throw it to me, I throw it back to you. But some people don't know how to do this. They don't know how to give that love back. Just like you say, oh, well, I give it back to the neighborhood. They gave to me, they sponsored me, or they were there for me, and so I gave, whatever I can give, I give back to them. But some people don't know how to do this. No matter how you say it, how you want it, how you need it, and you sound like somebody who really does need it. But remember one thing, one day you're going to be a mom. And when you be that mom, the mom that you say that your mom is, and that you don't want to be, make sure you don't be that person. Give your baby all the hugs and the kisses and the loving that you could possibly give, but love them enough to smack them behind when they're wrong. Teach them the difference between wrong and right. Some things you can never change. Some things will never be able to change in your mind. Sorry to say for that. But don't stop trying. You know? Keep letting her know you love her. You only get one mom. It may not be the mom that you want it to be, but still only get one mom. So you try to make the best of it that you can. And you keep making the best of it as you can and praying on that. And ask God to help you with that, and you'll be all right. Let me know.
Alright, this one says, I will keep this as short as possible. I'm living with genital herpes. Dating is hard for me because I live in a sort of a small town. I have tried the herpes dating sites, but most of the men on there are looking strictly for sex, although their profile says looking for relationships. Lately, I have been feeling really down on myself because it seems everyone around me has found love. When I contracted herpes, I was in a relationship with someone I've obviously trusted. Also, it seems she didn't finish.
She finished.
No, she didn't even finish the whole thing. But what do you say with somebody? I guess what do you say to somebody living with genital herpes?
Well, it's damage is done. It's not too much that you can say. That's damnation has already been put down on that, but you live with it the best way you can, and keep on trying to deal with whatever organizations that have it so that you deal with somebody that has the same thing as you have, and keep trying. I run into a nice person. I mean, everybody can't be a badass. You know, there's got to be some people out there It's not just for sex. You know, some people are out there, really want to have somebody and to be with somebody. So keep trying and pray on it. God send you somebody. Let me know.
Hello, Mama Scorpion. I'm a 25-year-old mom with a 1-year-old. His father and I split up when my son was just 6 months old. Since the split up, his father lacked spending time with him, and I always encourage quality time. Excuse me. Long story short, my son's father wants to join the military and take my son with him. He claims it's best for our son due to the benefits of the Army. He says I could always visit, with the quotation mark, my son whenever I want, as if it's that simple. I am totally against this because I'm taking very good care of my son, and no mother should just allow their son to be sent away. My compromise was to allow my son to visit him, especially when he is much older. My son's father calls me selfish because of this. Is this true? Please help. I love my son and I am more than able to care for him.
You don't need that shit. Don't let him tell you that shit. That's bullshit he's feeding you. You know you love your son. You know you being a good parent to him. Why in the world would you let him go off into Wonderland? You don't know where he's going. He don't really know where he's going if he's going in the service. Who's going to watch him while he's over there in the service? He's got something else cooked up for you, sister, and you're never going to see him again. Think about it. He's in the service. Who going to watch him while he's in the service? Was his mother going on a trip to him? She going in the service too? It's something else attached to that. You're not seeing the whole picture. Somebody's got to watch this boy. Somebody's got to be with him. Somebody's got to raise him. How in the hell is he going to have the time to raise him? He over there fighting the enemy. Come on now. Wake up. You don't send your child off somewhere you don't know where he's going or what could happen to him. You might not ever see him again. He might not ever come back this way. I don't think he's telling you the truth. Somebody's telling a lie. You better investigate that a little bit more.
Alright.
He's such a wuss.
Alright. So, as a child, I was raped by my older brother from the ages of 7 to 9. My mom worked long hours doing security overnight and was never home. I am the only girl out of 3 boys, and I'm the youngest. I was always alone with my 3 brothers. My brother had always been a troubled child and always gave my mom problems. He is now on drugs and trying to get off drugs. A close family member around my age came out and told her parents that this same brother of mine molested her as a child. I couldn't hold this secret in anymore because I didn't want this to happen to anyone else at 15. So I opened up to my mom, who I thought I can trust, and while I was crying and telling her what happened to me as a child, she told me to stop being so dramatic and that she was going to take me to get a lie detector test. My own mother don't believe me after she always told me if anyone touches you, you better tell me and it won't be your fault. When we got home, she told everyone in our family my business and made it seem like I was lying because my other family members gossiped and she didn't want her son to go to jail for rape. She made it seem like I was lying and I couldn't take it anymore because she convinced everyone in the family not to believe it. So I just said it wasn't true. Biggest mistake of my life. Well, my brother is now on drugs and tried to commit suicide last week after a big argument he and I had in front of my mom. I was so angry during the argument that I slipped and said, "Don't make me bring up the truth about a lot of things." He knew what I was talking about. After that argument, when my brother was in the hospital for a drug overdose, he told my mom that he was molested by our older cousin. She believed him, cried with him, and called a persecutor to help my older cousin's arrest. She keeps talking about it and bragging about how she will stop, She keeps talking about it and bragging about how she will not stop until my older cousin, who molested my brother, is behind bars, but she did not do the same for me. I cry almost every day, every single day. And now I'm so angry inside and beginning to resent my mother. My mom let my brother get away with raping me as a child and wants to protect her racist son because he was molested. My mother was also raped by her brother at age 7, so I thought she would be the main person I could trust. My question is, what should I do? Should I report my brother to the state police even though I know everyone in my family will be mad at me? I just don't feel right letting him get justice for being molested, knowing he raped me and he will always get away with it. If you were me, would you bring the situation to your mother?
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. He ain't gonna get away with anything. Man may get away with all kinds of shit on this earth with man and woman. But with God, you don't get away with nothing. Because he don't forget anything. God can forgive you, yes. But he don't forget it. And believe me, you think he's not going to bring it up to you? You think he's just going to let it go like that? Go ahead on with your life. Don't keep living in the past, because when you live in the past, you fill up with a whole lot of hate and argument. And you're starting to do that already now. Leave it go. And go on and live your life. Circle of life, let it keep going on. She's already made her decision what she's going to do about it, and that's nothing. So you could be fighting that forever. And she's not going to admit to it. That he could do something that's horrible as what he did to you. And always be watched for your children when you have your children, because it seems like it's a line in there. My brother and my uncle and my this and that of that happening. And so you have to try to be watchful of it. And probably the idea that her brother or her cousin or whoever it was did this to her, the idea of it, is shameful, and she just can't admit to it. And then this one and that one did the same thing. It's going down the line, and you want to break that. So, having children, make sure you be careful of who you leaving with. I don't care, the best of people you love, a lot of times do things they ain't got no business doing and won't admit to it. So you just keep on rolling, say your prayers on it, and don't let that hate build up inside you till you don't even know your own name. It's not worth it, believe me. But I tell you one thing, like I said, you may get away with it with man, but you sure can't get away with it with God. No way. Sure can.
This one says, I'm 20 years old. I have a 30-year-old brother and a 10-year-old sister. And my parents have been married for over 20 years. Recently, I noticed my dad would go upstairs and use the computer, specifically Facebook, when no one was around. I found out that he has been chatting online with his female co-workers and trying to meet them for sex. I have screenshotted, which take a picture of what he did as proof. He's cheating on my mother. Should I tell her? If so, how?
Well, sometimes it's better to let dead horses lie. It's better if you, especially don't start it, don't tell her, because it's going to bring a thing between you, her, and him. Don't think she don't know something's up. She's been with him all these years. You think your mom don't know him by now? Don't you think she know what goes on and what don't? she just might decide that let him do what he want to do. She might be doing what she want to do. You ever thought about that? You so busy watching Dad, you know, and then maybe they need to see a counselor, you know. If they're not getting along with each other, or you didn't say they wasn't getting along, or anything like that, or they was arguing and fighting in Canada, you didn't say nothing about none of that. You just said he has his little quiet moments where he does his thing. So, wait a little to pray on it and see what happens. Ask the Lord to show you the way, but I don't think you running and ringing the bell is going to solve anything. You know, I think it'll make it a little worse, and it will make things worse between the three of you or the four of you. And it will come out, well, it'll come out eventually anyhow. So let it come out eventually anyhow. You stay out of it. For right now, anyhow. Let me know.
Alright, this update said, you're always saying let me know, so I decided to give you a quick positive update. I wrote to you asking advice about being pregnant and my child's father not wanting religion or church to influence our child. He was also very controlling and flat out mean. You told me to tell him bye, and that's what I did. Since then, I found out I'm having a boy, and I was worried about a male influence in his life. I decided a couple weeks ago that I wanted one of my best friends to be my son's godfather. I threw a big celebration announcing it, but little did I know he had more in store. It actually turned out to be an engagement party. He proposed to me, ring and all. Set a date a couple months after the baby is born. He cares for me and my unborn child like it is his own. Always going to appointments, even fixed up a nursery without me having to ask.
Oh.
Most of all, he's spiritually in tune with me. We always pray together, have been going to the same church for years. I had no idea why I overlooked him in the first place. We decided to do it differently and live together after we are man and wife, and he respects that. Thanks for your advice. I just had to share because you don't know how depressed I was, and God has truly turned this around.
No, you made me feel so good. That is so wonderful. I'm so happy for you, baby girl. You know, I don't get to hit them nails on the head all the time. But when I do, it's nice for you to let me know. And thank you. Thank you very much.
This one says, my job that I loved in the beginning is now a job that I hate to pieces. Don't get me wrong. I understand that a job has its pros and cons, but not of this magnitude. A lot has been said, done, or shown in my direction that I find inappropriate and uncomfortable. I made various attempts to correct these wrongs, but it always seems to get worse from here. I have strongly considered pursuing another job due to the fact that I'm not only dread showing up, but I'm always on edge. I'm not the type to quit anything, and I usually take the good with the bad, but enough is enough. A person can only take so much before all hell breaks loose. My question to you is, do you think I should hang in there any longer, or do you think it's time to move forward? And before I go, I want you and Kevin to continue to do what y'all do. Much love.
Okay, it's time to move. When you start asking questions like that, it's time to make it move. You know, you think the body or the mind doesn't know, when you ask me, it knows, because you wouldn't ask me if it didn't know. You just want to be for sure that what you're doing is right. But nobody knows exactly for sure whether a person is absolutely right. But if you're feeling this way, it's time to make that move and to go head on. Where you gonna hang in there for? You know what I mean? You know, life it's so funny. It changes from one thing to the other, just like the weather. The day you got 80, tomorrow you got 50 degrees. 60 degrees, 70 degrees, and it flips backwards and forwards. You got a tornado. A few minutes from now, everything is all right. Then you got a tornado. Everything changes. Nothing really stays the same. So you got to put up with it, coming and going. And just take things the best way that you can. And let it go ahead on. You go ahead, just make that move. Now let me know what happened now.
Alright, we're going to wrap it up.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Basically, we talked about today was mistakes and things that we've made and kind of some of the results we've gotten back from the way we do things, or the things that we have done, or the actions that we have taken about what was going down. Now, you can't be right on everything, but you can be right on some. When your body starts to tell you, no, do so and sometimes you got to pay attention to that first intuition. That first person who speaks to you, don't do that. You be careful of this, and you be careful of that. A lot of times, that'd be the right one. Sometimes when we wait too long, sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, a lot of hate and this and that, and get involved with things that we don't even know you don't even know what it was all about from the first place. But life is a beautiful thing. And there's so many wonderful things out there for you. Don't be scared to live it. Don't be scared to live your dream and to go ahead and do what it is that you got to do. Other people may want to hold you in a vice. Keep you there, right there with them, so you can't do the things you got to do because they're scared of being by themselves. But you got to sometimes go do what you got to do for you. Sometimes God calls you to do other kind of things. He calls you to go other places. He comes out and calls you to do other things. And sometimes you got to go to that, answer that calling, or else you make yourself unhappy. So, all I can say is, don't be scared to make a move. Go on and do it. If you feel as though it's right all the way down in that heart, sometimes you got to do it. God bless each and every last one of you. And push that button. I love you.